you guys need? I'm here. Okay. Make sure I don't hit leave meeting this time. Okay. Hi, Pam. Pam's here. She just snuck across the... It's okay. You drove on 2 wheels to get here? That's probably a little scary there. Let me make sure you guys can see my feet. Please don't hesitate to come no matter how late you think you are. Like, just come. Doesn't matter. There will be a chair for you. So it's like a policy I have in all my classes. I don't care if you're late. Don't miss your practice, right? Just get here. You're not late. You're right on time. So we made it. So let's sit up nice and tall and get your knees and your ankles in line with your hips and kind of scoot your feet forward a little bit so you get that table leg so that the ankle's underneath your knee. Okay. Just take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Let it go. Maybe one more time. Let it go. And just feel yourself arriving. You made it to class. You're going to feel your feet firm on the floor and feel your seat in your chair and feel your spine gently rise out of that pelvic bowl. Just slightly lifting your heart, slightly lifting your gaze. It's not a rigid posture. You're still soft enough to feel the breath gently moving in and out of the body. So notice if you're trying to be really tall and tense, just soften with your next exhale. Maybe the shoulders floating away from the ears. A little softness in the abdomen. Notice any tension in the forehead or the eyes or the jaw. Soften the face. Feel that soft, gentle breath. It's spacious, but not too rigid or forced. It's a gentle inhale. Feel that spaciousness and a gentle exhale. Just do a little quick RAIN practice, R-A-I-N. So R, let's recognize what's here in the mind and in the heart right now. Just notice the thoughts and emotions that are here in this moment. And the A is to allow them to be here without fixing or judging. That allowing is a very hard practice in of itself. We always want to fix or make something better or judge, thinking we shouldn't be feeling or thinking this way. Kind of letting go and kind of stepping back in the mind and just allowing what's here to be here. This is how you're beginning your practice. So if you're feeling a little flustered or hot or anxious or sad or happy, you notice that. Maybe you're list making. That's my favorite go-to, the list for the next thing. So notice if that's here. And the I of RAIN is investigate. So we investigate the body, the felt sense of our emotions and our thought patterns. You start there. Can show up as tension. bracing heaviness. Notice if you're furrowing your brow or tensing your abdomen, hunching your shoulders. So we keep returning to the breath, that soft, gentle, spacious breath, to soften what we can. Ease the tension where we can. And then we begin to notice also parts of the body that might need extra care for your practice today. Just let the mind go to those precious spaces, the knees, the hips, the back, the neck. And that's the beginning of nurturing, when we acknowledge what's really here in the heart and in the mind and in the body. And we set the intention to move wisely. You know your body better than I do. So give yourself permission to do the deeper practice of not doing, of letting certain things go if it doesn't feel right for your body. That's the harder practice. Take another deep breath in through your nose and let out a nice sigh. Open your eyes if they've been closed. So we're going to work on the chair version of the bone density practice that I do with my other classes. This is the chair version. So this is designed to strengthen your spine and strengthen your femur bones that make the hip joint stronger. So what we want to do is pay attention to how we're holding our spine. So right now, just check in with how that spine's being held right now. If you're in any habitual patterns, I'm going to turn to the side here so you can see. And just notice how you're feeling. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down a few times. This is going to move your rib cage. Your rib cage might even be moving the spine. Gently rolling the shoulders. Keep your breath nice and gentle and easy. Let's roll those shoulders. Good. Nice. And then allow your elbows to settle underneath your shoulders. So usually they're forward. We want to draw them back. This lifts the heart and opens up the front of the body a little bit more. So we're encouraging neutral spine here, natural curves in your spine. So let's move the neck a little bit. So you're going to draw circles with your nose, the yogi bobblehead movement. So draw a small circle in one direction with your nose and start to spiral outward with these circles. Keep softening your jaw and your eyes. So this is a very soft gliding movement, just seeing how this part of the spine feels, your cervical spine, your neck. Your breath is still gently flowing. The circles get a little bigger. So we're not forcing any range of motion here. We're kind of noticing what's available. And then now that you've made this bigger circle, go in the opposite direction with the circles of your nose in front of your face. Keep breathing. And start to spiral inward, making the circles a little smaller as you're spiraling. And eventually, find some stillness, feeling the head floating on top of the spine. Okay, so we're going to do the active movement of a seated cat-cow. And so we want to feel what the spine is like in a back bend and then what it's like in the rounded shape. Now, the rounded shape is the shape, remember couch potato pose, right? this shape, the C shape, that's when we're slouching and not engaging the core. When we do the cat back, we want to engage the core. So let's start with cat back. So you're going to slide your hands towards your knees, roll onto the back of your sit bones, and take an exhale. Chin to the collarbones. And as you slowly inhale, rock forward on your sit bones. Begin to lift your heart. Draw your hands back towards your hips. Lift your chin a little bit. Exhale, engage your core, kind of knitting it into the midline and rocking onto the back of the sit bones, chin to the collarbones. So keep moving in this way with your breath. Inhaling, doing a little back bend, really drawing those elbows back behind the body. Exhaling, actively rounding the spine. So it's a safer movement for the front of your spine because it's supported by your core. So just notice how this feels. So we're not striving to get the biggest movement, just what feels reasonable in the body here. Good. Nice. And then you're going to slowly decrease the range of motion. So you're going to kind of slow down the movement a little bit. You're not going to go as deep so that you're beginning to find stillness and a centering. So we're coming towards that neutral spine, kind of perched a little forward on the sit bones. The elbows again are hanging underneath the shoulders. When we find stillness, we lift the gaze. Maybe roll the shoulders up, back, and down. But we're trying not to dig the low back ribs into the body and flare the front ribs. So we're finding neutral spine. So you're thinking of your rib cage like a bell, and the bell is level with the pelvic bowl of your hip bowl here. Nice and level. Just seeing how that feels. So your core is very active once you find that neutral spine. Okay. Now you're going to keep that neutral spine. You're going to rock on your sit bones without rounding your spine or doing an extension. Okay, so what it's going to look like is your spine is going to look like it's going to stay straight. You're going to lean back, feel that low core activate because you're not rounding, right? You're leaning back and then coming forward and leaning back. This is your exhale as you lean back. Inhale as you come forward. So you don't have to make it a big movement, but you're keeping your spine nice and long in that neutral way, okay? So you can feel your low core really start to work, right? That's what's drawing you forward. You're stabilizing your low spine here. So feel that difference between the flexing and bowing of the spine and then how the core supports you to keep the spine straight. We're doing a little low core work here, a little abdominal work. Good. Nice. All right. And come back to the neutral spine. So slightly forward on the sit bones, spine nice and tall, but the rib cage, the bell of the rib cage is nice and level. You're not overdoing it, right? You're kind of leveling off the rib cage, but the shoulders roll up, back, and down without taking the spine with it. Good. There. So that's the spine we're going to try to keep as much as we can through the rest of the practice. So you're going to just slightly scoot back in your chair, just a little bit, and then hold on to your chair. You can hold on to the back of the chair or the seat. Okay, and you're going to pick up your left foot. I'll be your mirror. You're going to pick up your left foot and straighten the knee and reach out through the heel, toes facing the sky. And then go ahead and bend the knee and put it back down. We're going to switch sides, straightening it out, and then bending the knee and putting it back down. Notice what your spine's doing when you're doing this. Okay, so we want to keep that nice neutral spine. Doesn't matter how high you lift that leg. You want to reach through the heel. You're going to feel your quadriceps really working here, right? Those hip flexors. So whenever we strengthen any of the muscles that surround the thigh bone, making that hip joint stronger, more stable. Good. So one more time each side, trying to stay nice and tall in your spine. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to add to it. We're just going to do one side at a time. So we're stretching out the back of the thigh, your hamstrings, but we're going to work on your abductor muscles, okay? So you're going to lift that left foot up, reach the heel forward, move it out to this side, come back and put it down. Same side, reaching up, over to this side, come back, and put it down. So just keep doing this, keep breathing, right? Seems like such a simple movement, but it's a lot, right? You know why? That femur bone's really heavy. It's really heavy. So you're weightlifting is what you're doing, right? We're resisting gravity. Good. Trying to keep that spine straight. Good. And put that leg back down. Pause and breathe. There's a lot of work strengthening that whole side. Let's do this on the other side. So straighten the right leg, move it out to the side, bring it back in, put it down. Let's keep going. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. One leg's always a little different than the other, especially if we have hardware, right? If we've got some extra hardware going on in your hip. Good. Or even in your ankle, your knee. Woo, that's a lot. One more time. This is the chair version of Padangusthasana, hand to foot pose. Nicely done, nicely done. So let's have our ankles come slightly behind your knees. So the ankles, you're gonna walk your feet just slightly towards the chair. And we're gonna come towards a half forward fold without rounding our spine. So we have kind of already practiced this, right? So we're trying to try not to round our spine. We're gonna do this on an exhale. So take a nice inhale, feel that length in the spine. As you exhale, you're hinging forward in your hips without rounding your spine. And then push into your thighs and come up to standing. Good. So we're keeping that spine nice and neutral, even when we stand up and even when we sit down. So feeling your feet hip distance apart, coming into your mountain pose. Okay. Feel the balls of your feet firm on the floor. Lift up your toes, spread them out, and set them back down. You feel that activation. We're going to do that same movement we did in our chair. So roll your arms outward so that the palms of the hands are facing forward. And you're going to spill the weight into the balls of the feet without lifting your heels. And then you're going to lean back into your heels without lifting the balls of your feet. So you're going to do that movement again. You're going to feel how your legs support you. You're just kind of leaning forward and then leaning back. You're going to feel your core in the front of the body, core in the back of the body, keeping you from losing some of your balance. So feel the feet, feel your legs, feel your hips and low back and the front of the low spine, which is your abdomen. Feel your heart center in the front and the back of the body. We're kind of rocking on your feet. Okay, nice, nice, and let that go. Very good. So you're going to come and walk behind your chair. So you can be behind your chair here. And the chair's right in front of you. And we're going to take that wide-legged stance. So have your feet go wide, just as wide as you feel comfortable doing. Doesn't have to be really wide. So we're coming into the warrior two pose. So there was a study done by Dr. Lauren Fishman, who had 12 yoga poses that you do. Some of you have done this with me. 12 yoga poses that you do that have been proven to strengthen your femur bones and your spine. Okay, so this is one of them, warrior two. So we're going to take this left thigh, your left thigh, my pretend left thigh. We're going to rotate that thigh outward. So you're going to spin it on the heel. The thigh rotates outward. The toes face to the left. You're going to bend that knee. So the knee's not going to go past your ankle. And then you're going to pick up that back heel, rotate the thigh inward. So it might swing out a little bit. You want the thigh rotated inward. You're going to feel your hip bones, your pelvic bowl move. It's kind of at a diagonal. So you're not facing totally straight with the hip bones. And then you're going to take your rib cage and dial your heart back. Okay, so there's a little twist in that. So it's getting the spine involved. And you're bending that front knee. So your shoulders should be right over your hips. And then you're going to lift your left arm up to shoulder height. Turn your head and look out over your left hand. If it's okay to let go of the chair, raise your right arm behind you. Rotate your head and find where it is in space. So we're warrior two pose. And then rotate your head to look back over your left hand. Now, find your breath here. And we want to add a little more dynamic tension. So you're rooting into your feet. So feel yourself pushing into the floor through the feet and feel the body rising up. So your core is going to turn on, almost as if you could lift your rib cage slightly, a little further away from your hip bowl. So you're feeling strong. It's almost as if you're pushing into the floor with your feet and pushing the feet apart. Okay, so you're rooting down and rising up. Nice. So the trick in these poses is the hold for 30 seconds was the magic time that helped increase bone density. But that doesn't mean holding your breath for 30 seconds. You have to breathe, okay? Let's move. Let's flip your arms over so the palms face the sky. Inhale, straighten that front knee as you push into that heel. Bring the arms towards your head, rotate your head forward. Exhale, draw your arms through heavy atmosphere, bend the knee, rotate the head to the left. Inhale, come up. Exhale, float down. Let's do this a few more times. Making sure this is okay for your shoulders. Good. Settle back down into your warrior two pose. Keep breathing, keep rooting into the feet. And feel the spine lifting. Good. Now you're going to place your hands on the hip thigh joint, the base of your pelvic bowl. Straighten that front knee. And you're just going to swing the hips from side to side a little bit. So I like to call this ringing the bells of the hips. Okay, just feel those hips swing a little bit. Just noticing what's available in your hips right now. Now, this left knee can be straight or slightly bent. That's okay. You're going to take the chair. Actually, you guys shouldn't be sliding your chair. So stay right where you are. Keep the chair right where you are. I think it'll be just fine. And you're going to swing your hips over to the right. So swing your hips to the right and hinge to the left. Inhale, root into the feet and bring the body back up. So we're doing teapot pose is what we're doing. So swing the hips over and tip. Keep your heart shining forward. Inhale, root into the feet and come back up. So we're getting ready to come into triangle pose. So swing your hips to the right, tip over, hold on to the chair with the left hand to begin with, and raise the right arm up if that feels reasonable. So the palm of the hand is shining forward. Okay, keep breathing. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, root into the feet. Your core is turned on. So now your spine is off of center. So you're adding all the force of gravity into your spine. Your core is activated, which means the muscles are supporting your spine, making your spine stronger. Right? Inhale, root into the feet and come back up. Drop that hand. Let's switch sides. So you're going to swing your toes through the center and then rotate your right foot out. The toes are facing to the right. Pick up the back heel and rotate the left foot in. So that heel kind of swings out just a little bit. So that thigh swings in and then the right thigh swings out and the hip bowl moves just a little bit. And then take your heart center and do the little twist where you bring your heart back towards your chair. And you're going to bend that front knee. So that knee is going to be bent, but it's not going to go past your ankle. Okay. And then you're going to raise the right arm up. So your heart is facing your chair, but your gaze is turned to face the right hand. And if it feels okay, raise the left hand. Or hold on to your chair, whatever feels comfortable. If you've raised your left arm, turn your head and find it in space back there. You want to raise the wrist up to the level of your shoulder if that's reasonable for the body, and then turn your head back to the right. So this is the hold, the first hold. You're rooting into the feet, and you feel the spine rising out of your pelvic bowl. So you're not sinking into your structure. You're lifting out of the structure as you're pushing the feet down and out. So all that energy you push into the earth comes back up through the body. Keep breathing. So we do the hold of the pose, but not of the breath. Good. 2 more breaths here, because your yoga teacher has a different time warp for 30 seconds. So what you're going to do now is kind of turn this into a dynamic warrior 2. So you're going to rotate your arms so the palm of the hands face the sky. Inhale, root into the feet, straighten the knee, and bring the arms towards your head. Rotate your head. Exhale, draw the arms down through thick atmosphere, bend the knee, and rotate the head to the right. And then keep moving with your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, and exhaling down. One more time. And exhaling down, holding that warrior 2 pose. Feel your feet root into the floor. Feel your spine lifting. Good. Let's bring the hands back to the hip thigh joint. Straighten that right knee a little bit. And then just kind of swing the bells of your hips just to see what's available. It doesn't have to be a big movement. All right. We're just seeing what the range of motion is here. And then you're going to swing your hips over to the left. You're hinging in the right hip. You're tipping in your teapot pose. So your heart's still facing forward. And inhale, root into the feet and feel the core turn on to bring you back up. Exhale, swing the hips and tip over. And then do that again. Root into the feet and come back up. This time we're going to hold. So swing the hips over, tip to the right. You can hold on to the chair with anything that feels comfortable so you're keeping your balance. If it's okay, you could lift your left arm so it kind of moves straight out in a straight line from the line of the shoulders. So this is a modified triangle pose. That front knee can be soft. Keep breathing. Your heart is kind of lifting a little bit. Your spine is off center, so the force of gravity is working on it, so your core is working harder. And that palm of the hand is shining forward. So inhale, root into the feet and come back up. Exhale, drop that hand. And then swing your heels back, your toes forward. I'm going to turn my chair. You stay wherever you are. So we're going to come towards a half forward fold without rounding the spine. So your feet are going to be long. Your toes are going to face forward towards me. Okay. Heels facing back. Soften your knees. Okay. And we're going to play with the pelvic bowl a little bit. So you're going to tuck your tailbone and then lift your tailbone. Tuck your tailbone, squeeze in the glutes, and then lift your tailbone. So tuck and lift. This is important because when you move your pelvic bowl, it's never independently, but we're just pretending for a moment that it's independent of the femur bones. You're going to actually move further. So lift your pelvic bowl. So lift the tailbone, tip your pelvic bowl forward, and come towards a half forward fold. Soften the knees as much as you need to. So that means we're not going to go any further than the back of the chair here. Okay, inhale, root into the feet, put a little bend in the knees, push into the floor and lift yourself back up. Good, and then walk your feet back towards the space behind the chair. Thighs are happy to be back together again. Coming back to mountain pose, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Let your hands shine forward. And pause in your mountain pose and see how the body is feeling so far. So we check in. We check in with the consequences of our actions. on our body so that you know how to move forward in a wise way. All right. Nice. So you're going to pick up your chair and you're going to rotate it so that the seat faces the left side. So that when you turn around and face me, face forward, your left hip is on the back of your chair. Perfect. Yeah. So get onto the back of your chair and then face the front of the room. There you go, Jerry. Yeah, face the front of the room. Perfect. That way we have something to hold on to for balancing. So we're going to do that movement of doing circles in the sand. I don't know if you guys remember this from before. So place the right hand on your hip. You're going to take the right foot and step it straight back. Okay, and it's just on your toes here. If it feels okay to be on your toes. And you're bending that front knee just a little bit. So we're adding some strength into this thigh. You're going to shift your weight forward and draw a circle with your toes with that right leg. Lift your thigh up and set it back down. Okay, we're going to keep doing that over and over again. Stepping straight back onto your toes, bending the front knee. Shifting your weight forward, and as you lift up, drawing that circle in the sand, lifting the thigh up and setting it back down. Let's do it again. Stepping back. So this is building our coordination, right? Because this keeps our bones happy. The more we build our balance and our coordination, let's draw that circle, the less chance we have to fall, right? Let's do it again. Stay here in the lunge that you're in right now, and you want to notice your front foot. This is where you're going to plant your tree, is that front foot, the foot closest to the chair. So you shift your weight forward, draw that circle, rise up, lift that thigh up, then rotate the thigh outward, put your toes on the ground, tree pose. And then you can always lift the toes up just above your ankle if that feels comfortable. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. If it feels more comfortable to bring the arms out in whatever position, maybe one branch, maybe two, maybe it gets windy and you need to find the chair, right? Or plant more roots down. Tap down with your toes on the floor or keep your toes on the floor, whatever feels comfortable here. So in tree pose, we're going to do that 30-second hold minimum. For tree pose, you want to notice if you're sinking into your structure, which means you might be sinking into the standing hip. So you want to draw that left thigh in, push into the floor through the foot, feel the body rising, 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 rising. So practicing our balancing here, which is really important. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Good. Take one more inhale here, and as you exhale, float back down into your mountain pose and plant both feet on the ground. Pause right here, feel things settle. Feel how the standing leg feels, how the leg feels where your knee was lifted. Feel your spine. Feel your breath. Was that movement wise for this body today? Good. We're going to shake it out. Shake it out a little bit. Little horse lips here. Blow it out through your lips. Don't worry, nobody can hear you. They just hear me. And then your nose itches. Okay, we got to shake it out. So we're going to take this chair and rotate it. So your seat is facing the wall to the right. So that when you turn to face forward, back to the front, your right hip is near the back of your chair, facing forward. We're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to turn to this side so you can see what I'm talking about. Place your your left hand on your hip. You're going to step straight back, just a nice stride back. Put your toes down and bend the front knee. So a little high lunge here, so we're already balancing. And then we're shifting forward, drawing a circle in the sand with our toes, lifting that thigh up and setting the foot back down. Let's do it again. Stepping back, bending the front knee just a little bit, shifting forward, drawing that circle, lifting the thigh up, and coming back down. So just do this a few more times. Shifting forward, just building that balance and coordination. Stepping back. Good. Shifting forward, drawing the circle, lifting the thigh up, and putting the foot back down. So the next time you step back, we're going to hold the high lunge. You're bending that front knee just a little bit. Hold on to your chair. And your front foot's going to be where you're planting your tree. This is the right foot's going to be where the tree is going to be planted. So feel steady here first. When you're ready, shift forward, draw that circle, lift the thigh up, swing the thigh out. Let me turn to the side here. You're going to swing that thigh out. You can put your toes down on the ground to start. When you feel comfortable, you can lift the toes above your ankle. And you can bring your arms out to whatever supports your tree pose. Okay? And things are allowed to move because they have to. We find our roots, we can tap down those toes a little bit. So while we're here, we keep breathing, we lift the heart, we lift the gaze. We want to notice if we're sinking into our structure, if you're sinking into that standing hip. So you're going to draw the right thigh in, push down through the foot and feel the spine lifting. Like kind of plugging in your femur bone into the hip socket here. Breathe. It's a lot of work, resisting gravity, system constantly negotiating with it. Right. And then you're slowly gonna come back down, coming back into your mountain pose and pause right here. And breathe and notice. How does the body feel right now? What are the consequences of those actions on your system? Never rushing past the effect of your work. Okay. And then there's usually something we gotta shake out a little bit. So shake out any tension, make some horse flips. Come on, you guys, gotta have some horse flips. I'm gonna shake it out a little bit. Great. So you're going to pick up your chair, you're going to bring it back to the beginning position. So the seat is facing forward. Okay. Nice. Nice. And then we're going to take that wide-legged stance one more time. We're just going to change it up a little bit. So you're going to swing your heels in and your toes out, which means your thighs are actually rotating out. Okay. And the foot goes along with it. So you want to feel this outer rotation of your thighs. So think about feeling the pinky toe side of your foot. So feel the base of your pinky toe and then feel the base of your big toe. But feel this inner arch kind of lifting a little bit. It's almost as if you're starting to roll your feet towards the outside, but your big toe's still firm on the ground. And you're going to slowly bend your knees. Okay. Your spine stays neutral here. So it doesn't matter how deeply you bend your knees. You just do a little bit. We're going to go up and down and then we're going to hold. So go ahead and root into your heels and straighten the knees. Come on up. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, slowly bend the knees. You feel your spine coming down. Feel this outer rotation to your thighs. Inhale, root into the heels. Come back up. Exhale, flow back down. Inhale, come back up. Next time you come back down into this goddess or sumo pose, we're going to stay right here. We feel this outer rotation. Doesn't matter how deeply bent your knees are. Feel that outer rotation of your thighs. Feel the pinky toe side of your foot. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Keep breathing. Bring that breath in. Nice, nice, nice. Inhale, root into your heels and straighten the knees, come back up and bring your feet back together. Come back to mountain pose. This is where we always pause and feel the effects of that work. Good. So let's come to standing in front of your seat in your mountain pose. We want to sit down, but we're going to do it like yogis, right? So you're going to turn around and look at your seat on each side, never taking your seat for granted. Okay, so we want to keep the spine nice and straight, right? So we're going to avoid tucking the tailbone and sitting down in couch potato pose right away. We want to feel that pelvic bowl move. So before we come to a seat, let's move that pelvic bowl again. You're going to tuck your tailbone and squeeze your glutes in. Okay, now hold that pose and try to fold forward. It's impossible, isn't it? Right? There's just no way. But sometimes you don't always realize that's what you're doing before you do a forward fold. You want to loosen up those hips, right? So lift your tailbone. Let's do an exaggeration. You're tipping your pelvic bowl forward. You're lifting your tailbone. It's from here you can do a half forward fold. So you're lifting that tailbone. That pelvic bowl is tipping forward. Place your hands on your thighs. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend your knees. You're hinging in the hips, but your spine's not rounding, and you're going to find your way to your chair, keeping this long, beautiful spine the whole way. Lovely. Yes. Aha. So let's scoot towards the front of your chair and get those ankles back underneath your knees again. So scoot the feet forward and then walk your feet towards each other so that the thighs and the knees come towards each other and the feet are close together. You just want to feel the difference of this inner and outer rotation. Let's play with that a little bit. So rock forward on your sit bones and feel the heart lift. We want this nice, tall, neutral spine. And then you're going to swing your thighs out onto the outside of your feet and then bring your thighs back in. So your spine is quiet, right? Your pelvic bowl is steady and even. Your rib cage is steady and even. It's just your thighs that are moving, right? So outer rotation, inner rotation, outer rotation, inner rotation, right? I know I have to use my hands because it helps me find that, right? Now bring yourself to inner rotation, those thighs coming together, and keep that energy there. Like you're trying to squeeze something between your knees. Yeah, keep that energy there. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Let's do a gentle twist here. So you can keep your thighs in fact, we're going to keep our thighs together. We're not going to do any crossing over. As if you're pinching a quarter between your knees, take your left hand, bring it to the chair behind you. Keep your heart facing forward. Slide your right hand over to the left thigh. So before we twist, we want to lift. So you're going to inhale, lift up in the front of the rib cage and the back of the rib cage. Exhale, rotate from your solar plexus to the left. Inhale, come out of your twist. Feel your core doing the movement. Exhale, move into the twist. Keep pinching the quarter. Inhale, come out. Exhale, move back in. One more time. Inhale, come out. Exhale, move back in. Maybe your head rotates a little bit more, and you're going to hold this twist. So you're not twisting so deeply that your breath is hard to find. Find that breath first. Keep pinching the quarter between your knees. Feel that deep inner rotation. So it's not just a spinal twist. It's also work on your thighs too. How's that breath coming? This is one of those 30-second holds. So you want to notice the energies of your twist. Feel the spine is lifting and the spine is rotating. Good. As you take this next inhale, unwind. Come back to facing forward. Place both hands on your thighs and let your thighs swing out and back in and out and back in. Good. Just releasing some tension. Good. And then rotate those thighs inwards, pinch that quarter between your knees, okay? That spine is nice and tall. Take the right hand back behind you, hold on to your chair, slide that left hand across the midline towards your right thigh. And then on inhales, think spine lifting, getting long. On exhales, move from your center, and then the rib cage just follows in the shoulders, and then the head follows. Inhale, come unwind again. Exhale, go back into it. Keep those knees together. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, back in. We're going to do that one more time. And your exhale, moving into your twist. And you're keeping your thighs rotating towards each other. So just holding something between your thighs or your knees. Find your breath. Do that first. And you want to feel the energy of the spine lifting and then the spine rotating. So like that spiral staircase, the energy of a spiral staircase. So very active twist. All right. As you take your next inhale, slowly unwind. Bring the hands to the thighs and inhale, like rotate the thighs outward. Exhale, bring them back in. Inhale, rotate out. Exhale, back in. Let's do that a few times. Nice tall spine here. Good. One more time. Bringing the knees back together, feet on the floor. So this is our starting position for our seated side angle pose. So we're gonna open the gate. So you're gonna take your left thigh and just kind of move the leg out to the side to where it feels reasonable. And you want that heel and your ankle underneath your knee. So it doesn't matter how wide you bring it out. Don't go too wide, okay? And then usually our seat moves a little bit. So what you're gonna do is place your left hand on your heart and rotate your rib cage so that your heart is facing forward again. You feel that little twist in your spine? And you're gonna place the left hand, kind of the left wrist on top of your thigh, near your hip. So you kind of flip that arm over, palm of the hand. And then let that right arm kind of drift down from your shoulder, just kind of swing it a little bit, roll out the shoulder a little bit, release some tension, right? And then you're gonna inhale that arm forward and up, and you're gonna exhale. Let's move to the side. Maybe that arm moves towards the knee. Inhale, come back up, feel your core working. Exhale, come back. Inhale, root into your feet as you come back up. Exhale, go back in. Inhale, root into the feet, push the feet into the floor. Feel that extra energy coming back in. One more time, inhale, root into the feet. Exhale, come into this seated side angle pose. You're gonna hold the pose. So it's not just us laying about to the side, right? It's active. The core is lifting the spine. And then it's slightly rotated. And then we got this nice stretch on the side body. We're gonna add more into your legs, push your feet into the floor, almost as if you're almost getting ready to stand up. So push your feet into the floor, feel that extra energy. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath though. Breathe into that whole right side of the body. Don't go too far. Good. Inhale, root into those feet, bring yourself back up. Exhale, bring that arm down. Close the gate and pause right here. How did that feel in the body? Breathe. Let's do the other side. So you're gonna take that right leg and open the gate up. That ankle's gonna be right underneath your knee. Your seat, your pelvic bowl probably moved a little bit. So place your hand on your heart, your right hand on your heart, and rotate your heart so that you're facing forward again, okay? And then take that forearm on the right side, kind of flip it over so the palm of the hand is facing the sky, resting the wrist and the forearm near your hip. And then let that left arm kind of drift from your shoulder, maybe roll out the shoulder a few times, okay? And then you're going to inhale that arm forward and up, and you're going to exhale to the side. Maybe that right arm moves toward your knee. Inhale, push into the feet, bring yourself back up. Exhale, come over to the side. Push the feet into the floor, come back up. Exhale to the side. Let's do it again. Inhale, come back up. Exhale to the side. One more time and we'll hold. Inhale, coming back up. Exhaling, moving to the side. It's not your deepest side stretch. It's one that makes the breath available, that the energy is not completely being expended. Kind of lifting the heart a little bit. You're rooting into your feet. Push the feet into the floor almost as if you're beginning to think about standing up. Pushing those feet into the floor. You feel your legs turn on and grip your bones. We want that feeling. Good. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Good. Inhale, bring that arm back up. Exhale, float it down. Bring that leg back. Get those knees back together again. Kind of rocking forward on the sit bones, lifting the heart. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Good. So you're going to walk your feet out just a little bit so that the feet are now hip distance apart. Just a little bit of space. The knees are in line with the hips and the ankles are underneath the knees. This forward fold is going to feel delicious after all of that work we've been doing. So I want to go into the forward fold gently because we've been doing a lot of work to keep the spine activated and supported. So we're going to do that rocking. We're going to lean forward. We're going to lean back with a straight spine. You're going to feel it, right? So we're keeping that spine straight. You're feeling that low core activating. Good. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. There you go. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead and turn this into our cat-cow pose. So you're going to inhale, slide the hands towards your hips, rock forward on the sit bones, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, slowly rock onto the back of the sit bones. You're going to feel your pelvic bowl tuck in. Slide the hands forward, do a gentle cat pose. And then keep moving slowly with your breath. Inhaling forward, gentle back bend. Exhaling back, gentle rounded spine with the core activated. So this is to release tension from all of that hard work you've been doing. All right, I'm going to turn my seat back around while you do that. Good. One more inhale and one more exhale. And then you're going to rock forward, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze, coming into that neutral spine. And then we're going to do the forward fold. So you're going to bring your hands to your heart. Okay, and let's move very slow with your breath. You're going to inhale as the arms come down, out, and up, lifting to the sky. Exhale, sweep that tailbone out behind you. Hinge forward in your hips. Keep that long spine as long as you can, and then round at the end. Bring the chin to the collarbones and take a full breath here. Inhale, push the feet into the floor. Begin to lift the head and the chest. The arms come out, the spine straightens. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Pause and breathe here. Let's do that again. If you're ready, inhale the arms out and up. Feel that length of the spine. Exhale, you're hinging that pelvic bowl forward, kind of leading with your heart and then rounding towards the end. And taking a full breath here. Inhale, root into the feet. The arms come out and up, diving up to the sky. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Rest for a breath. We're going to do it one more time. When you're ready, inhaling. Out and up. Exhaling, leading with your heart, a nice straight spine. And then the rounding comes and the core is activated. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, root into the feet. The arms come out and up. Feel that core lift, lifting you. Exhale the hands to the heart. Keep the thumbs right at your chest. Feel your feet and feel your seat. Awareness moving into the breath, that nice, gentle, available breath. Sometimes it's a little deep, sometimes it's a little shallow. You're letting your body do what it needs to do here. Just kind of feeling the results of your practice, taking that important pause at the end of your practice to allow your system to integrate any benefit, any wisdom, and you're just breathing here. Noticing what the mind is like and what the heart is like, our thoughts and our emotions at the end of our practice. Feeling the results of the practice in our body so that we know how to move forward with the rest of our day, how to best to take care of this precious body, heart, and mind. So what's here right now? What does your system need after practice today? And set the intention to honor the body, the heart, and the mind for the remainder of your day. May you be strong and wise and peaceful. May you be healthy, happy, and kind. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Well done, yogis. That was a strong practice.